welcome to my channel and to another Tag Tuesday. Now, if you will notice, I'm in a different room and I don't have my sidekick, Mr. Smooth, aka David, or the other way around, however you want to look at it. He is under the weather, and when he tries to talk, he gets all coughed and everything because his head's draining. So he's gonna have to sit this one out. I told him I'd miss him, and y'all probably wouldn't even watch me. Y'all might turn me off if he ain't with me. Anyway, these questions are, I think, our third week of Thanksgiving questions that Sandy has done, and that's Let's Get Fit with Sandy. And we were tagged by Jimmy, who, in case you don't know, in case you've been under a rock, that is Sandy's son. They always do it together. So Jimmy always tags me and Mr. Smooth, and he's the one that gave David that name. So if you wonder where that ever came from, if you ever see it or hear it, that came from Jimmy. So these week's questions are, would you rather? So we will just go ahead and get started. Would you rather stand in line for 3 hours to get a TV for 75% off, or stand in line for 5 minutes for 25% off? In the old days, I would have stood in line 3 hours to get a 75% off TV because I like a good bargain. We're in the market for a TV. Listen, if I could have a chair, I might wait 3 hours for one now. But we used to go to the Black Friday sales when the kids were little to get all the cool stuff. So back in the day when I had the ability, I would have. Today, I'd probably just stand there for 5 minutes to get my 25% off. Number 2, would you rather run in a turkey trot or do a polar bear plunge? Listen, I can't run, but I would do something in a turkey trot before I would jump in that ice cold water. I don't know how they do it. It looks like it'd make your brains shrivel up. And they just jump in. Listen, I can't even hardly to get in a cold pool before, you know how you get in a pool and it's cold when you first get in, then you get all used to it. I can't even hardly do that. So I'll take that turkey trot. Number 3, would you rather take a nap or go for a walk after eating a large meal? Well, that's today. That's a nap. Always the nap. Listen, my sleeping patterns are so messed up that during the day, that's what I want to do. And I mean, I will doze off anywhere. I will doze off eating. That ain't no joke. I will doze off sitting back at the craft room, sitting in the chair. I'll just doze off. So after a big meal, I'd rather have a nap because that's what I do anyway. Let's see. Would you rather march in a Thanksgiving parade or run in a turkey trot in 100-degree weather? Okay, so I picked the turkey trot over the polar plunge, but I will pick the Thanksgiving parade over the 100-degree weather turkey trot because I don't like the heat. I am not built for heat. No. The older I get, though, I'm not built for cold either. Listen, I've been getting cold in my house and putting the heat on, and I don't normally do that. I will keep the air conditioner on up through the practically Christmas if it's warm outside, but temperatures have dropped, but still, I'm a hot-natured person. Thanksgiving parade, now, while it's going to be long, I have marched in a parade with RJ. I didn't march, but I walked behind him. When he was in high school, he was in the Naval Junior ROTC, and he was on the 50 state flag team, where they had 50 guys and gals. They were both in there. One state, one flag for each state, and they did parades and different things, with that team. They had, I think this one was in Charlotte it was Memorial Day, I think. It was it was downtown Charlotte, but some of us parents, we went behind them. Oh, that was my dogs were barking, but I would still rather do that than be out in 100-degree weather. Number 5, would you rather run out of food before everyone is fed or be forced to throw away leftovers? Well, I would hate to throw away the leftovers, but don't come to my house and let me run out of food. Because no, that's like my mama. I need to make sure you eat. You didn't go to her house. If you have one plate of food, you was insulting her. I ain't kidding. I'm sure some of y'all had mamas like that. If you have one plate of food, well, did you not like it? Well, I just ate my gut full. Well, I didn't see you go back and get more. Yes, ma'am. And you just went on back and got more because it was like if you didn't eat until you couldn't breathe, you didn't like her food. I don't make you do that at my house, but I definitely don't want to run out of food before everybody gets some. That would be terrible. That I couldn't do that. I always make too much. The kids pick on me, well, RJ especially. Not me, not. He's like, you always think you don't have enough. I'm like, I know. That's why everybody has leftovers to take home because I always overshoot it. So, number 6. Would you rather have a hitchhiker join your family for Thanksgiving dinner or eat Thanksgiving dinner with people you don't know? Well, as long as that hitchhiker ain't like a murderer or escaped convict or Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers or somebody like that, I'd probably rather have the hitchhiker at my house. I think I'd be more comfortable with a stranger in my house than me being the stranger at somebody else's house. I think I'd be more comfortable because I'd be in my own element instead of theirs. So I will pick the hitchhiker. Number 7. Would you rather spend the night in a pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin or spend the whole night watching scary movies? Well, if we watch the Halloween tags, we know I ain't watching those scary movies. I'm not watching one, much less a whole night of them. So I will sit out in the pumpkin patch with Charlie Brown and whoever else is sitting out there waiting on the great pumpkin. Of course, somebody gonna have to be with me because I'll be scared by myself. Number 8. Would you rather drink sparkling cider or hot chocolate? I honestly don't think I have ever had sparkling cider. It's probably good, but I love some good hot chocolate. Me and David had some last night. I thought that might help his throat. Number 9. Would you rather pluck a turkey or peel 20 pounds of potatoes? If you have ever watched my channel with me cooking with raw chicken, what do we know that I don't do? I don't touch it. I will pick up a live bird all day long. I'll chase the turkey and grab him if I have to. I've had chickens in my life. I'll hold chicken. I don't mind holding them when they're alive, but I just don't like to touch raw chicken meat. If that includes the turkey. Poultry, we shall say poultry. Don't like to touch raw hamburger either. It's not that the animal grosses me out. The feeling on my fingers. Oh, I'll touch pork all day long, and I'll touch fish. I'll clean scale, gut, D-head, whatever a fish. I got no problem with that. But it's something about the hamburger meat and the chicken, so I ain't plucking no turkey. Well, maybe I'll pluck it if I have my gloves on. So I'll rephrase that. I would pluck a turkey if I had gloves on, but I would still rather peel the potatoes. Now, here's the thing about the potatoes. I have shown it on my channel one time before, and I know some people think, you got something that peels your taters for you? Well, yes, I do, and let me tell you, it is wonderful. Back, I think it was 2 years ago, because I have arthritis in my hand, and holding that knife, peeling them taters is hard. Even holding one of the tater peelers, the holding the potato and holding the thing, my hands, I just can't do it. Over 3 or 4 potatoes, forget it. I got to get out it's called Rotato. I know that sounds like something from Ron Popeil, which it might be, who knows? It might have been something he created back in the day, and it made its way into today's world. But it was Black Friday, and I was scrolling through Walmart's app, just seeing, okay, well, what kind of Black Friday deals have they got going on? And I went to the kitchen appliances, because y'all know I'm a sucker for a kitchen appliance. You can probably see some up there on the top. I got overflow of things, so I don't have room in the kitchen. Well, I mean, I went way on down. I didn't see nothing, things I'd like to have, maybe not room for it or I already have it. And I come across this Rotato. Well, knowing how much my husband loves mashed potatoes and knowing how he doesn't always get them at the time as much as he liked them because I just couldn't peel them. So if he was not available to peel them, which he was potato peeler, then they didn't get made. So I started reading reviews and it said the best thing you can have for somebody with arthritis. And they say, my mama loves it. My grandma loves it. It's the best thing. Even some person said, we had a big something we had to do, and it peeled like how many pounds of potatoes in no time at all. Well, that was all I needed, so I bought it. And I'm going to tell you what, I love that little bad boy. It is about, about that tall. It has little spikes at the bottom, plastic, and that thing is what rotates. You put the potato down on it, there's a sliding thing with a spike on it, plastic, and that holds the potato in place. Then there's an arm with the blade on it, and you position it to the top of the potato, and when you turn it on, the bottom rotates, and it just, the blade just spins all the way down till it gets it. Now there's two little end pieces that has peeling on it, and it leaves ridges on the potatoes. So if you ever see me cooking and I already had peeled potatoes and they had ridges on them, that's what they come from. That come from my Rotato. If you would be interested in seeing it next time I make something with potatoes in it, let me know and I'll show it to you. I'm sure people laugh and say, you don't need that. Well, get arthritis in your hands and see what you need. You don't realize where your life's going to end up sometimes. So it's best not to pick on somebody for something that might come around and bite you in the behind. Number 10. Would you rather put up Christmas decorations the day after Thanksgiving or watch Hallmark Christmas movies all day long? Well, I think I said this the other day on some video. Our family tradition has always been, even when I was a little girl, we put up our Christmas tree and stuff the day after Thanksgiving. That's been our tradition. That's the tradition I carried into my adult life. So that's what I've always done my whole life. This year, and I've already told you, I put up the Christmas tree already for Sebastian because we won't have him Christmas. And his birthday's in December too, the week before Christmas. So we won't have him for Christmas or birthday. And I didn't want to just hand him like a bag of gifts. I thought, well, he likes the tree. He likes to look at the ornaments, the lights. So I wanted to make that special for him. So I went ahead and put it up. I get over Christmas quick because then I'm ready to get my house back to normal. So this is adding me 2 extra weeks, but that's fine. You do what you do for your grandchildren. Then I'm like, well, I want my porch lights on so when he comes at night, he can see the pretty lights. So we were out there putting them up. So my Christmas decorations are already up. So I'll pick that one. But here is the watch Hallmark Christmas movies all day. Listen, no shade if you watch Hallmark movies. But as for me, if you taped my eyeballs open and set me in front of the TV, I would still find a way to get them eyes shut and not watch that movie. Listen, you would think as much as I cry, and this is not for sympathy, but I pretty much cry on a daily basis. There's something that I cry about on a daily basis. Things come to my mind and I get sad. I do not like sappy stuff. And you would think it would be the opposite, but I just do not like, I don't like sappy movies, put it that way. I don't like sappy movies. I don't like sad movies. I don't like real heart-wrenching movies. I get enough of that in real life that I don't want to purposely sit down and watch something that's going to make me cry or get all tore up. So that's a big no on the Christmas movies. And then the thing about, and that's regular Hallmark movies too, none of that. You know, one of the movies that made me cry the most, I should have known before I watched it. I Am Sam. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you like to watch sad movies or movies that'll rip your heart out, go watch that movie. I Am Sam with Sean Penn. Oh, it'll tear you up. I should have known before I watched it. Should have known. Anyway, here's the thing about Christmas decorations. When we were out there, we did it Saturday. Put my tree up Friday, I think. Maybe was it Friday? I don't know. And then Saturday, David was working on the yard, blowing and mowing and everything. And then he quit early to help me put these lights up. And I know what people was thinking, which, you know. But there was this truck went by and we was out there wrapping them because we got the porch railing where we just wrap it in around the little things. And this truck with this man and woman went by and they was just looking and looking and looking. I'm thinking, mind your business. Don't worry that we putting our Christmas lights up early. And you know, I got to thinking, well, first of all, we worry about what people do too much. But there are, see, they didn't know, okay, maybe it's not Christmas season, but they didn't know why I was putting my lights up. And so I got to thinking, you know what? There's many reasons people might decorate their Christmas, put their Christmas lights up, put stuff on the yard, whatever you do for Christmas. There's lots of reasons people might do it, and these are things we might need to stop and think, okay, I'm doing it because I'm going to have a grandchild that needs to celebrate Christmas in November because he won't be here in December. And so I got to thinking, there's other reasons. First of all, there could be somebody in the house dying that ain't going to make it till Christmas, and you're giving them Christmas. There could be somebody that's in the hospital, been in the hospital for a while, and they're getting released, and you want to bring them home to something joyous. There could be somebody who's going to deploy in the military, and you want to give them Christmas before they leave. There's all kind of reasons. So if you're going down the road and you see somebody with their Christmas lights up and it ain't Christmas yet, cut them some slack because you just don't know. Maybe it's somebody in the house that just needs some joy in their life. Maybe they've had a rough year and they just want something that makes them happy. And if Christmas decorations makes them happy, then so be it. That's my rant on Christmas. That shall bring us to a close. Y'all remember that episode of Criminal Minds? That's what that made me think of. When Spencer is over at Garcia's house and they're having that Day of the Dead. She's going to have that party where they come in, you know, with her little shrine and all that stuff. And she's trying to trick him to get something out of her refrigerator. And she's like, did you find her whatever? He goes, well, there's this jar of eyeballs. She's like, well, you didn't even scare you. I didn't even scare you. JJ says I don't. And she's putting blood on her face and everything. He goes, well, you know, we all have a different side. He goes, I have this side. And so he does this Clint Eastwood thing. And then at the end, he goes, because he finishes. I don't know why I just told y'all that, but that's what it made me think of. Y'all know I can relate anything. I can relate anything to Criminal Minds or Roseanne. I can relate to Roseanne a lot. So anyway, that is it for me this week. And like I said, David should be back next week, all feeling better, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So this week, I'm going to tag, guess who? My friend Roy over at Recipes with Roy. Go check him out. And then Tracy over Trials of Long Hair Girl. Y'all know she's the one started these tags. Lord have mercy. March, when COVID hit in March of 2020, she started doing them. And then she went and had that surgery. And so she's been out of the tag game for a good long while. But she's easing back into doing the tags. She hadn't got back into making up the tags. That's why Sandy's doing them. There for a while, me and Sandy and Joan took turns, and then Sandy took them over. So, but Tracy, she's getting back into it, so I'm tagging her, see if she wants to do this week again too. And then I'm going to tag Suzanne of Suzanne's Brightlines. She's over in New Zealand. She likes to do the tags. It was fun last week because her granddaughter read her the questions, and it was just fun because Suzanne has the accent, which I love to listen to, and it was fun hearing a little child with that accent. It was just cool. it was just cool. So that's who I'm tagging: Roy and Tracy and Suzanne. So thank you for putting up with me all by myself. And I will see you in my next video.